Vancouver B Movie Factory is a place where you can make your dreams come true.
The Vancouver B Movie Factory is a community-based group where people interested in the film industry or just interested in having fun can come together and produce fun little films.
I joined the Vancouver B Movie Factory at the first meeting in May of 2012. Ever since that first meeting, we've been making movies pretty much every week.
It's a place where I get to be creative and show off who I am and just not feel shy about kind of being a little weird.
There are incredibly few community-based projects like B Movie Factory that offer the skill sets and experiences that it does give people. These are skills that they use for practicality in all walks of other occupations that they do.
The Vancouver B Movie Factory has been one of the most fun, interesting, and valuable groups that I've been involved in since coming back to Vancouver 5 or 6 years ago. And I've been involved in improv theater and musical improv theater and other things in the Vancouver arts community, and the Vancouver B Movie Factory has been easily one of the best experiences that I've had.
It's a big community that encourages each other to create wonderful videos at a very low budget.
The Vancouver B Movie Factory with Jimi and the crew have done such a marvelous job maintaining this group.
I've really liked the program, the opportunity to make movies, to make small bits, to make small television shows.
I think it's a great organization. I think it's a great way of making films.
They can come here just to play around and learn with other people to see whether this is the industry they would fit it or not, which I find very vital.
To me, the Vancouver B Movie Factory means community and a sense of belonging, but with the caveat that, and this is the part that makes it something dear to my heart, it's an inclusive and welcoming place to belong for people who sometimes don't always feel they easily belong places, which makes it a really important place.
In a lot of ways, the Vancouver B Movie Factory is a home for like-minded people who have a passion to be creative and who want to explore their talents or their imagination or their creative side.
I discovered the B Movie Factory about a year ago, and I wish I discovered it years before because it's just a thing I was looking for.
The Vancouver B Movie Factory gave me an opportunity to write multiple short films, over a dozen short films over a period of a few years, and see them translated onto the screen, and to be involved in the process of making those films.
I'm really impressed with the kind of process you're following. You sit down together, decide on a topic, and then write out a kind of a screenplay in an impromptu manner, and then you get down to shooting it. I think I like this process.
The first time I showed up was about a year ago, and I really did not know what to expect. There were about 4 or 5 people there, and we showed up on a Wednesday at the Field House, and we were discussing what type of movie we'd like to do and who would like to do which role.
You go to a meeting on Wednesday, you write a script on Thursday, you get it out to the actors, you film it on Sunday, and you edit it the next week, and then it's done.
So in the space of less than a week, we make a short film, a 4 or 5 minute film with local actors, local talent, local everything.
And after the meeting was over, I went home and wrote a comment somewhere, I can't remember if it was on the meetup page, but said I felt very accepted and a big warm and fuzzy feeling, which is exactly what it was. And I was quite frankly shocked that, oh, we'll come back Saturday because we're doing a film.
When we get to where we're going to film it on that Saturday, Jimmy pulls out the camera and he's ready for the shoot, and suddenly, because the camera's on, I totally freeze. It's like my voice isn't working. It's like I'm a deer in the headlights. I just feel this camera and suddenly I can't do it. And it was so great. Jimmy talked me through it, got me over my panic, very encouragingly had me do it again, was very positive. And so my first experience with the camera ended up being a good one.
The thing I love the most about this group is that anyone can do anything.
It was a very friendly group, very welcoming, a very diverse bunch of people with all different backgrounds. Some had more experience in film, some like me had none, but that wasn't a problem. I was welcome to the group. I was given the opportunity to act. I was given the opportunity to write, and even given the opportunity to direct, all without any experience.
I'm very thankful for the Vancouver B Movie Factory, and I've had so much fun and so many great experiences.
So this is a chance to get in on the ground floor, no experience necessary, and just get in there, get your hands dirty, and learn the craft of filmmaking.
I'm a little bit unusual in that I am not looking to get into the film industry. I'm not trying to become an actor. However, the B Movie Factory to me means fun and friendship.
Approximately 2 months after I came, someone who means a lot to me and is very close to me attended her first meeting with me. This is a person who has had many difficulties with OCD and social anxiety disorder, and she was very apprehensive about coming and very anxious. And she really had no idea what she would do and had no intention of appearing on camera, but the following weekend, she directed her first film, and she now has had the leading role and supporting roles in many films, something she never thought possible, even to the point where we both get comments in public like, "Hey, I've seen you," as we stand in the supermarket lineup. "I've seen you on TV." She has also progressed to the point where she does public speaking, has been to many trips on her own to New York City, Boston, where else did she go? Montreal, and she will be going to Washington, D.C. to do a public speaking event. Not to say that the Vancouver B Movie Factory has solved her problems, but she has gotten much, much better than her parents and myself had ever hoped she would, and it all started right here.
There is a role for everybody. There is a place for everybody. No one is turned down. You can't be turned down because of the way you look, or because you're not experienced enough, or you're too experienced. Everyone is welcome, and everyone has a part in it. And that we're doing it for the love of it, and just for the creative, passionate outlet.
When I first showed up, I was welcomed. I wasn't, "Oh, do you know what to do? No, it was just, "Come. Which role would you like to do?" And I choose to be a director.
I went on to script a few other films and direct and do a bit of acting, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Well, to me, it's been an invaluable experience building sort of package, in that when I first went along, it was specifically to do film music, but very quickly, in fact, even on the very first episode, I got to do some editing, and I found I enjoyed editing. I was then asked to come back and do an edit of an entire short film, and also did the music to it, and then progressed into doing sound design, and eventually started acting in these things. I've even directed an episode, so I got to try out a whole bunch of things that I otherwise wouldn't have done.
In the past 2.5 years since, I have scored the music for over 30 plus short films, many of which have appeared on local television. I've also directed a couple and acted in a number of short films.
I had visited this place about 2 years ago, May of 2016. I came here as a visitor. After I went back to my native place, I made at least 4 mini documentary films, and I attempted 1 short film. So the organization had inspired me to get into action and do something.
I have since then gotten better and better at working in front of the camera, to the point where now, 4 years later, I have an agent, and I've actually been in 3 commercials, and I do some student films and other independent films. And all of this is possible because of the Vancouver B Movie Factory.
The Vancouver B Movie Factory is funded out of volunteer donations and the enormous amount of time and effort that the organizer, Jimi Stewart, puts in. It is an all-volunteer organization, and it produces enormous benefits for the community.
So the skill sets that I've learned just being thrown into it has been nothing less than extraordinary. My credits are on a ton of short films and even a few independent feature films now. And I have to credit the Vancouver B Movie Factory and Jimmy Stewart for that, because quite frankly, it wouldn't have happened without that.
I directed 7 short films, and it was challenging, but when Jimmy was there, he's like, "No worry, if something that needs a slack being picked up, I can help you." So he did, and I have the most experience when I get to film with, with Jimmy behind with, 35 years worth of experience.
The Vancouver B Movie Factory to me, and I'm not supposed to say it like this, but I honestly feel like it's Jimmy Stewart. He is this wealth of knowledge. He is a man who would love to mentor anyone who's just willing to ask him for advice or for help with something. He is very generous to a fault. Yeah, the Vancouver B Movie Factory is Jimmy Stewart.
I'm constantly amazed at the amount of time and effort and love and dedication and everything that Jimmy puts into this group.
Jimmy Stewart has provided a huge public service at his own expense. At first, I did not understand why somebody would do this, but as I've gotten to know him, he does it because he's a really good person who cares more about others than he cares about himself, a level of philanthropy that I have never seen before and don't expect to ever again.
So I'm talking about the track record. I think the track record is excellent by any standard. And for someone who has come up with this kind of a track record, you should pay a lot of attention.
I have seen dozens of people come through the Vancouver B Movie Factory. I think there's probably several thousand total who've been involved in some way or another. And many of those people have gone on to work in the film industry in one capacity or another.
This is a very rare opportunity for anybody that wants to get into the film industry, that wants to become a YouTuber. This is just practical skills that isn't taught in school and doesn't teach you how to troubleshoot. But Jimmy teaches you all that and more.
I also love that that Jimmy has managed to keep up with different types of technology and experimental things like 360 video, and I made a VR film with the group a while back. These are things that they're not just kind of cranking out the same old stuff. They're actually trying new, experimental, interesting things, and again, just empowering people to be able to create.
My favorite experience of that was discovering people in my orbit who could do similar things to me, but they could do other things better and I could do things better, but you combine the two of us and others and you get a much better product. So that was a bit of an epiphany on my side. So
when I first joined the Vancouver B Movie Factory, we were meeting in coffee shops, and it was a different place every week, and getting people together was always a problem. Since having the field house, it has given us a stable base, a place where we can all gather, we know where we're meeting every week, and we have the opportunity to shoot there if there are no other locations available.
Once every month on a Saturday, they have a film night, which anybody can come and watch films, these great, fantastic B movies. And I have a son that has a disability, and he doesn't really want to do a lot when we're filming, but he loves to come to the Saturday night film viewing at Moberly Park at a field house.
I got to see my dad and my brother really having a good time, and they were relaxed in this group full of people, and they're kind of a little shy like I am, and they have a hard time kind of, making friends and feeling they belong in a rather cold and gray city. And yeah, that was one of my favorite moments, was seeing my dad and my brother find a place they felt they belonged.
It is essential that this kind of a group needs a place to meet regularly, to maintain the continuity. I think you need a base, because the groups keep changing, people keep changing, because everybody cannot attend every meeting. You need a base so that everybody can come to this place.
We need a place to plan. We need a place to meet where we can, have our we just need our own space. We have a green screen there. We have computers there. We edit there. We need it.
It allows the B Movie Factory to have a home.
The clubhouse really made it possible for the group to thrive.
Well, it's a pivotal place for us, especially when the winters are down, to have a place to be able to film outside of the weather and also use it as inspiration.
Well, the Fieldhouse gives us a location to actually do, obviously, filming, but not just filming. It acts as a bit of a surrogate soundstage. I mean, there we could mount a gigantic green screen, which seems kind of obvious, but it's kind of hard to find places to put this. And with a green screen, you can pretty much do anything.
I think my favorite experience in general has been being able to use the green screen. That's really changed a lot of what we can do. And it's really nice having a fixed location where we can have the green screen set up to use it.
So over the past year, we have made a web series that ran 12 episodes, and we are currently in pre-production for a feature-length film. And we can do that because we have the Fieldhouse and we know where we're going to be each week, and we always have that space available. It is a tremendous asset.
With the Fieldhouse, Jimi was able to really touch the community in even more ways than just bringing people's dreams to life. It allowed just quiet people to have a place to gather and to have a shared love of film and a shared sense of a small community where they felt that they belonged, but nothing was asked of them, nothing was demanded of them. They just were allowed to come, feel comfortable, have a good time, and meet interesting other individuals.
Well, if we didn't have the Fieldhouse anymore, it would be a real problem because it would be a huge step backwards for our group. We spent 2 years without a location where we had to meet wherever we could and then film wherever we could. And it's been a much smoother process having a place that we could rely on.
The B Movie Factory is awesome. I discovered it a year ago. I really wish I had discovered it earlier, and it'd be such a shame for the B Movie Factory to end.
And it would be such a shame to lose the clubhouse.
I feel that if the Vancouver B Movie Factory ceases to exist, it would be a big loss to the community.
The city should really be supporting the effort that is going on here because it's a wonderful thing and it really does help a lot of people.
There is a ton of practical skills which people have learned and continue to learn in that Fieldhouse. That is why it is essential that we keep it or have something similar to it, because quite frankly, this group lives and breathes with people being able to generate skills which they then take to a professional level, or simply use those skills in public speaking or a job as a real estate agent. You'd be surprised how often people go into acting to learn how to, do things that require you to be savvy with customers, etc. And this is the sort of skills you can learn as an actor, and that's just one example.
The Fieldhouse has been a tremendous asset to the group, and I really hope that the Parks Board can find some way of finding a space where this group can continue to meet, continue to create, and continue to teach people like me the basics of filmmaking.
I just can't envision not having Vancouver B Movie, not having this group, not having this place. And also, I can't imagine not having those Saturday nights for my son to come and be part of this. It would be a great loss.
Losing it is such a shame. It is, I wouldn't exactly say it's criminal, but it is a shame. And, depriving future people of this experience to be able to get in there, make a short film, and learn the craft of acting, of filming, of directing, of writing, of music composition, of sound design, of all of the gamut that it runs. It is a really useful project. Far more useful than I think a lot of people give it credit for. I would implore you to think about that, because there's a lot of people who would very much benefit from this experience. It goes beyond filmmaking, it enriches one's life, and that would be a shame to lose that. So I would say please give B Movie Factory another chance. It would be worthwhile.
Please, please, please do not give this space away to anybody but the Vancouver B Movie Factory.
Just asking you, with the rest of us, that you give people the opportunity and chances to continue to what we're doing.
Please continue to allow us to use your field houses. Thank you.
So please, consider give the B Movie Factory another field house.
Please, we really need a field house. We need a place to keep making movies.
Please save the field house for the B Movie Factory. It is extremely important to this community.
Please give Jimmy a field house. He's a very good man, and he does very good things with your field house. And he takes very good care of it. I know, I've been there when we're cleaning up, and he is very serious about not messing your shit up. Like, seriously. Takes very good care.
Please let Vancouver B Movie have a field house, have a place so that people like my son, my daughter, people like me, people who are newcomers to the city and feel lost and feel like they're fighting for every little scrap can come to a place that is welcoming and has open arms and is willing to just say, yes, come, be part of something, be part of a community that is welcoming and is open and will make you feel for a little while that the world is magic.
Make dream come true.
Please, please give us the field house. We really need it.
Okay.